And let's say hello now to our Facebook friends all over the country and all over the world, and welcome to Around the Block with myself, Tom London, and Willi Badenhorst, and our special guest Ralph. We'll get to Ralph in just a moment. But let me say hello to you wherever you find yourself this evening. If you're listening to the radio on DSTV channel 869, you can listen to the audio there. You can also listen to audio on medium wave 1485 across Johannesburg, or download the TuneIn app and search for Radio Today Johannesburg. But we'd like you to join us on Facebook and come and take a seat at the broadcast table. Come and be part of the studio team. Come and be part of the community inside the station. And you can do that by joining us on Facebook. So go to Tom London. You can go to my Tom London page. That's quite easy, or look for my public page. Both got stick figures or happy faces, like that, and go along and press the play button, or go along to Radio Today Johannesburg. We're streaming live via Radio Today Johannesburg, and already we have people climbing on board. So we'll say hello to you as we see you. The little cook, Les Faber, Dina Tout. Have I pronounced your surname correctly, Dina? I hope so. Dina Tout or Tout? I'm not sure.
Tout.
Do you know?
Yes.
Oh, you do? Tout?
Yeah, my partner.
Oh, your partner?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. How's it, Dina? And so, Willi and Ralph in studio. How's it, Willi? How's your week been, man?
Yeah, it's been great, Tom. Thank you for having us
back.
back.
Come move a little further this way, if you don't mind. Yeah, there we go. Now you're in shot as well. Been a good one?
Yeah, fantastic.
And how was the response to last week? Anybody talking about the show?
It was great. I had feedback from, all kinds of people I don't know.
Wow. Good.
The Lego community that I'm involved in, generally positive feedback. Given that it was our first one, I didn't know what to expect. I was nervous as hell, still a little bit, But like you said, don't worry, just speak about what you're passionate about and it'll be a great show.
You've done just fine. Right. Luke Commons is on board and says, "Evening, Lego gentlemen."
Yeah, Luke's our buddy from Durban. Hey, Luke.
How's it, Luke? And John Moslin is on board. How's it, John? Good to have you on board. And I've actually gone and I've researched Lego this week, because last week I sat here like a dummy. My only memories were childhood memories of building, and I knew very little about the company. So I've spent a week researching and doing as much as I could to try and keep up to speed with you folks. So what are we starting with this week? History of Lego?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting thing to
So
start
can
with.
I tell you what I've learned?
Tell us.
Yes.
And correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, I'm sitting with the two experts. This is a little bit nerve-wracking, I must tell you. I know I'm a little bit worried. I've got Ralph Steele, zaLUG member and mini-figure collector, sitting in front of me, right? And I've got Willi Badenhorst, AFOL, sitting in front of me. And now I've got to go through the history of Lego. But let me tell you what I know, right? There was a guy called Ole Kirk van Kirkenstad or something.
Close enough.
Okay, his name was Ole Kirk Christensen.
Yeah.
I should be able to do this because I'm half Danish. My mother was born in Denmark and I learned to speak a little bit of it, so it was probably Ole Kirk Christensen. He was a woodworker.
Carpenter, yeah.
Yeah, carpenter. And he made wooden products. Naturally.
The factory started with furniture.
Yeah, furniture.
Yes.
And then the Great Depression came along, and all of a sudden people weren't buying furniture, so he went smaller and smaller until he started making toys. And that's where the first picture comes in, because I've gone and found the toys. So here's Ole, there he is, and there's the first toy that Lego made, or that Ole made, which was a duck,
Yes.
and little wooden figurines.
Pull it along back, yeah.
Right? A what duck?
You pull it along,
Oh, you pulled them along.
You don't
I don't know
string.
how that duck works. I just saw a duck. So now he develops a bit of a reputation for being a toy maker, except starts becoming a problem sourcing wood. And he finds plastic. And he develops the first brick, which didn't have the little tubes inside. It was just a square brick. And you could stack them, but they would fall
over, yeah.
And I'm not sure how long it stayed like that, Willi. You know the exact time frames, but I'm guessing around late 50s, the brick with the tube, the interlocking brick, came in, and so did something called the system. Now, if you're not a Lego person, you like that?
I'm so impressed with what you figured out this week, Tom.
know,
Well done.
I'm doing all my homework. Right, so listen, the system, if you're not a Lego, an adult fan of Lego, like you just never throw the words the system around loosely. The system is everything. The system means that a block from 1960 fits a block from 2018.
Exactly.
Perfectly to this day. The clutch control, which is a word I thought only applied to cars.
Just clutch.
Is it just clutch?
Clutch.
All right, the clutch on the bricks is
Yeah.
still the same. Even though the patent ended some time ago and other people try to replicate and reproduce the brick, Lego bricks are still the best.
System.
And they are the system. So if I've done anything right in the last 7 days, I am now a believer in the system. I thought that was funny.
We're all laughing, Tom.
Okay. So there we go. So we're into the history now, okay? Oh, I'm going to show you the headquarters of Lego and put it on screen now. Lego is situated in Billund in Denmark, little town in Denmark. And I can actually, let's go to Billund now and find out what the temperature is in Billund. It's 12 degrees currently. They can expect a high of 13 today, or that's it. Basically, it's overs cadovers, and now it's
European winter.
Yeah, 12, and on their way to 5, and it's predictably for Denmark overcast. No sunny skies in Billund.
What you see on screen right there actually
Yeah.
is the Lego house.
Yeah, that's the Lego
You go back
headquarters.
there, yeah,
It's beautiful.
it's really stunning.
And I'll play you some pictures of inside the headquarters and other Lego offices around the world. They carry the theme through everything. I think it's fantastic, right? So now Lego's got plastic bricks and they make plastic brick toys. Now I'm skipping out a whole lot, but I am going to dance around Lego technique for a while because you're going to be talking about technique tonight. And I went to look, where did this start? Like moving things around and putting brains into Lego. And it turned out it started with Lego TC Logo, which was a computer programming language way back. And guys could actually use Apple computers and Logo language with controllers to move pieces. And then Mindstorm came around, but when I said Mindstorm to use it, that's not technique, right? Because that's something...
Well, it's not entirely
Exactly.
true. I mean, Mindstorm uses technique elements, but the
Okay.
Mindstorm system is bringing robotics, motors, programmable logic controllers,
Right.
that sort of thing, into the Lego system.
And then technique really started in 1977.
Yeah.
When the first range of Technic kits came out, which included the car chassis, the helicopter, and if you're over the age of 40, 50, you may remember playing with some of these kits as you grew up, the tractor, and I'll do one more, the forklift truck. Now, Lego is also known for other things, like movies, and they've expanded out of the brick. And play parks was a big thing. So Legoland was put up in Billund. It was owned by Lego until it had to be sold off when Lego needed $300 million to stay afloat. And so I'm putting some pictures of Legoland, and Legoland's expanded to California and other areas in America. And as a kid, my mom always said that she would take us to Legoland one day. And she hasn't.
Well, still time.
So it's still a dream of mine to get to Legoland and Tivoli Gardens in Denmark. So how am I doing with the history so far?
I want to tell the listeners and viewers
Yeah.
that Tom has got nothing that he's reading this off.
No,
I'm
I
so
didn't.
impressed that
No, I
and
studied.
he's
looking at
winging
well.
this.
I did, I studied. Like all the other shows, I got some idea. They bring a 4x4 in, I understand tire sizes, fuel consumption. Lego, I sat here like a fool last week. I thought I better do some homework. So I've done all this homework. And I even know little things like the first figurine that came out was a policeman. And we'll be talking about figurines tonight as well, with Ralph. And the policeman was reintroduced a couple of years ago, and I put in that picture up on the screen as we speak. And the first figurines are on screen. And then the big one, Mr. Gold, which I believe you can pay many, many rands for if
Yes.
you want one of these. So listen, if you've got a Mr. Gold figure, we'll buy it from you for $100, I'm sure. See? Okay.
Yeah, I'll be first in line.
$50. They thought that was too high. And we will buy that Lego Gold figure off you. So we'll be talking about Lego Gold and the figures that came out with Ralph. But let's start off, Willi, with technique, because that's what you wanted to chat about tonight.
Yeah, so technique is the system that, or the theme of Lego that I play with. I've brought in to the studio the flagship model of last year, which was the Bugatti Chiron. I built it according to community plans. It was developed by a guy from Holland and a guy from Germany.
Yeah.
Within 2 weeks of it coming out, they pretty much reinvented the gearbox and the engine, made it more efficient, made it shift better. They added a better steering. And
so what is connected on? I'm just going to take the other camera quickly, and I'm going to do some close-ups here. So you built this.
Yeah.
And this is a design that you built too.
It's based on the design that Lego released.
Yeah.
But in addition to the plans that they released, there was some modifications that the Lego community, mostly in Europe, had made to it.
Okay.
And then not just building it in the blue color that it was originally designed for.
You went multicolored on it.
Yeah. It was dubbed by a guy in Holland actually as the Rainbow Gutty.
Oh really? And so people around the world know this because Lego profiled this on their Instagram account and got like 300,000 likes.
You're very kind, Tom. No, it was 36,000 or so.
Yeah, well, you know, media, we like politicians. It was 30,000, we say it was 300,000. So you put all this together, and what is connected here? Does the steering wheel turn the wheels?
Yeah, the steering wheel.
What turns what?
Turn the wheels, got an 8-speed flappy paddle gearbox, and the doors could open, I guess.
When you say it's got a gearbox, has it got a real gearbox?
Yes.
No. Serious? It's got a real gearbox?
Well, yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's difficult to reach now.
And so that's the technique part of this. What moves on this car?
Most things. When you move the car, the W12 engine, pistons goes in and out. It'll be difficult to see.
Sure.
With your,
you can take that. Alright, so now we're watching the Lego pistons move in and out. Okay, and the wheels turn and the engine works and there's an actual gearbox and it's been put together like a proper car.
Well, as close
as you can get with Lego bricks
yeah.
at this size. So isn't that beautiful?
There's an option to motorize it and then make it remote control, but
really?
I quite like the model look of the engine.
Yeah.
And that was more important to me in the design process than actually making it move and drive by itself.
So how long does it take to make a car like this?
There's actually a time-lapse video of it, and I calculated the build time. It was around 9 or 10 hours in about 25 sittings that I did over a couple of weeks to put this together. And you squeeze in some time before work or before bed. It's not always, when you've got a business to run and a family, it's not always easy to find time for Lego.
Sure. So here's some of the comments from the room. You want to see what people are saying?
Yeah.
Luke Cummins says, Nao says, I like the cap, Tom. You can't have it. Luke Cummins says, hello from the Champagne Valley to the Johannesburg metropolis. Where's the Champagne Valley?
It's in the Berg, I think.
Oh, KZN. Champagne, it's that side. Nicholas Mons, Nicky Mons. Hey, Nick is on board. He says, who doesn't love Lego? That's a good one. Leanne Roos says, hello, Butta. Who's Butta? Oh, Liani.
Yeah.
I'm getting all the names wrong here. Who's Liani? Oh, that's
my
your
sister.
sister. I know your sister. Hey, Liani, how's it? Raymond McPherson says, a hearty how's it from Saffold's.
Saffold's is an online community. It's actually a very cool online community. They've got a Facebook. Check them out. Raymond, I'm sure you'll share
give us a link in the comments section.
Saffold's. They're actually recognized by the Lego group from Berlin as a recognized international community or a recognized online community. And you need to tick certain boxes and have a certain number of members.
So well done, Raymond.
Yeah, Raymond, Barry, and Mornay. Well done to the three of them for running Saffold's.
Pam Jacobson is watching. Raymond says also the annual collectible minifigures series, multiple series a year. How does? Well, we'll get to that in a moment when we chat, Ralph, how the mini series figures work and multiple series. Luke Common says, watch this, the Lego story. Yes, I know you've watched it. Willi, Ralph, Joe, and it's a YouTube link. I'll watch that when I get home tonight. And then Paul Rotherham's on board. How's it, Paul? Paul says, ask Willi to show you the hog.
That's the hand of God steering. So on the dashboard, one of the things that was going to bring that.
Yeah.
This wasn't part of the original design, so it's got a steering lever, I guess.
Who put
on the
that
dashboard.
in? Did you put that in?
I didn't design it. I don't take credit for any of the design, but this was one of the things that the Europeans changed. Yeah.
So that's called the hand of God.
Yeah. So when you would play with your model, it would be easier to steer like this than to put your hand inside. Yeah.
Yeah, got it. Okay. What else are we chatting about on the technique side this week?
Well, another thing that I do with the technique is build the great ball contraption. and I'd like to talk about that more in upcoming episodes. But what the great ball contraption is, we touched on this last week, is moving a little Lego ball in the most creative way from one point of a circuit to the other. And they use conveyor belts and things that throw and things that, lift and nudge the ball forward. And this is a real crowd pleaser. We spoke about that last week, that when Lego moves at an exhibition, the crowds seem to hang around longer.
What's the number one Technic set that everyone wants? Is there a number one? And I ask you in the room as well. Like, what's the apex of Technic sets? Is there?
I guess it would be last year's flagship model, the Chiron.
Oh, really?
And there's a flagship.
So the latest and the greatest.
Yeah, there was a lot of improvements made to this model from the Porsche that they released the year before. So everyone's anticipating the model for this year. It's as closely guarded secret as the launch of the new iPhone would be, probably even more so.
Really?
You see very few leaked photos of Lego models, even though they come out from time to time.
Willi, this thing's got brake calipers, man. I only noticed now that this car's actually got brake discs and calipers.
Yes, it was the first model that Technique made with calipers and brake discs.
The more I look at it, the more I see. Now, these parts, where did you get them from?
Most of the parts came from my collection, but then to find the unique colors, you have to really dig deep. So most of them came from Bricklink. Bricklink.com is an international Lego marketplace, and it's where most of the adult fans of Lego would then buy parts or sets for their collection. You could see this like eBay for Lego. So individual people like me or you or Ralph could create a Bricklink store and say, well, I've got 7 of these blue parts and 8 of these, and this would be the price, and sell them. Yeah.
How do you feel about the different colors that Lego have produced over the world? Are they still purists that hark back to the days of the original bricks and the original colors, and as you moved into more colors it became less?
It would depend. It would depend on the collector, I suppose.
Yeah.
I built a model a couple of years ago, and it was a revival model of a model that came out in 1980. And part of the brief I set myself was to use only the 6 colors that was available to Lego, enthusiasts, I guess, back in 1980 when the model was released.
Okay.
So you built the model in red and blue and yellow, black and grey.
Yeah, but I think you would get purists in any kind of form.
Are they purists?
They are purists. They are out there. But Lego's bringing out all these new colors and new parts and stuff like that. And I think it would be great to embrace them.
Like, sorry, Ralph.
Yeah, so not to step on Willi's terrain here, but Lego released a new part on the 1st of April.
Yeah.
Which wasn't an April Fool's joke, which everybody thought it was.
Okay, so hold on, and because Willi told me about this as well, that on the 1st of April they said, here's a new part. And everyone thought,
Well, no, I got really excited. I fell for it hook, line and sinker. Yes, I did. On a WhatsApp group, so it's a matter of public record. And then it came out as a April Fool's Day joke. Oh, shucks.
And was it? It was an April?
No. On April the 2nd, the part was still available.
Yeah?
Yeah, the part was still available in 2 colors. If I'm correct, yeah.
Pink and black.
And what part is that, by the way?
It's a, I don't know what you would call it. It's a connector part.
A connector part.
Yeah.
And did you get one? Have you ordered one?
It's not really available in but it's on my wanted list on Bricklink.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
So what is a wanted list on Bricklink?
Because there are many individual sellers, you can't just go to one shop and buy everything that you want. The website is quite intuitive and would allow you to create a list of parts that you require to finish a project.
And then if someone's got that part, it will match you up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, in very loose terms, yeah.
Makes sense. What are you building at the moment?
I'm working on a couple of more rainbow models and some GBC models. I hope to have it finished for our exhibition in Springs at the end of April.
What's a GBC model?
A Great Ball Contraption.
Oh, I've still got to learn that. Okay.
You've learnt it already,
right, GBC, the Great Ball Contraption. Okay, and that's going to be at Springs at the end of the month.
Yeah, Springs Mall, Saturday the 27th, I think it is.
Correct,
You're picking me up, I think, and we're going all
I'll
there together.
pick you up and we'll go.
We'll spend a day in Springs.
Let's do it.
It's the second time you and I have spent a day in Springs.
That's right.
One day I get a call from Willi. He says, how would you like to visit your hometown? I'm like, yeah, let's go visit my hometown. We drive there. I say, why are we visiting my hometown? Well, we're going to carry a treadmill. What Was a treadmill, eh?
It was, yeah.
And those people were happy to see it gone. Do you remember?
That's very clever.
It was, it was way too heavy.
So that was my one and only trip to Springs with Willi. But this time we're going to go to a mall and a Lego exhibition. It's going to be fantastic.
Nice to see you getting excited for this, Tom.
I do. I get excited. I get excited when I see other people's passion, and when I hang around people with passion, you can't help but some of that passion rub off on you. And as I say, I grew up with this. I mean, I was playing with Lego before most South African kids because my grandparents were Danish and they brought Lego over for my mom and her siblings would play with Lego. So, I just knew it as part of like my culture and it was never anything special in our house, ironically. It was just part of life. And then it was only when I met my friends who, their parents had bought them Lego sets. And they were expensive, and they were told to look after them, that I realized, whoa, Lego is something quite special. Okay, any other comments on technique tonight, Willi, before we move over to minifigures?
No, I invited Ralph as my guest. I'd very much like to give the floor to him and
fantastic.
Talk about minifigures.
If you've got any comments about technique or minifigures, pop them into the section. Any comments, any questions, any points of interest, put it in the comment section below the video. And if you're listening to the radio wondering what's going on here, we're doing the Lego show. It's called Around the Block. It's on every Wednesday. It is Thursday. I normally run a time zone behind, at least every Thursday, 7 to 8 o'clock, where we get Willi Badenhorst and Lego enthusiasts into the studio to talk about it, and you can join us on Facebook. So go along to Radio Today Johannesburg's Facebook page, or Tom London's page, or Willi Badenhorst's page, or
search hashtag Around the Block.
Search hashtag Around the Block if you're looking for the video, and press play and come and join us. Right, so Michael Smith says shout out to all the members of Joburg LUG. Is that JHB LUG or Joburg LUG?
Yeah, it's Joburg LUG.
Joburg LUG.
It's another user group in Johannesburg run by Michael Smith. Nice guy. They are family orientated, so if you're looking for a club for you and the family and the kids to join, connect with Michael at jhblug.co.za. I think there's an online application form there.
Cool, so shout out to Joburg LUG. How's it, Michael? And Raymond also says bricklink.com for all your pricing and buying needs. That's what you mentioned, eh?
Yeah,
Bricklink.
that's right.
And then brickset.com. Record your sets, loose minifigures and bricks here. Brickset.
So what Brickset allows you to do is take control of your collection of Lego. You'd actually say from there, I've got the Bugatti set number 42.
Was that go into the cloud? Like a record in the cloud?
It is, yes. And from there you could export the data to another website called Rebrickable. Now Rebrickable knows what parts went into this model and the police station that you bought and a couple of minifigures, and based on the parts that Rebrickable now knows you have, they could suggest other plans, other instructions for you to build. Yeah.
That's clever. Alright, Ralph, let's talk about minifigures.
Yes.
What's the story or your story with minifigures?
My story of minifigures.
Where did it start?
Mine started back in 2014, where I specifically targeted minifigures. So basically, I wanted a mascot to travel with me to take photos. All these exotic places you go to in Facebook, like Springs and Brakpan, and I have a little mascot just with all my photos where I travel with.
Okay.
And ran into one of the toy shops, and there was a little minifigurine that you can buy on its own in a blind packet. A blind packet is a foil packet you can't see through, so you don't know what you're getting.
You didn't know what you were getting, okay.
I bought one of those, was quite happy with it. And then from there, as Willi would say, the addiction started.
The bug bit.
The bug
Do you remember
bit.
what the first figure was?
Yes, so the first figure was from Series 10. It was one of the warriors, the
woman warrior.
The Roman warrior.
Yes.
So that was my first one that I started with, and from there onwards, just started finding all the parts, all the series and stuff like that.
Now tell me about this wonderful world of minifigures.
Okay, so the wonderful world of minifigures. So there's two parts. So you get minifigures with all your sets, well, not with all your sets, but most of it's system sets that you buy.
Sure.
It's like little policemen, or divers, or pirates, or kings and knights and stuff like that, depending on which set you buy.
Yes.
And then you get the collectible minifigurines, which is a minifigure on its own. The interesting fact about the collectible minifigurines is that each minifigure is unique. There's not such a combination that has been brought out before by Lego, so it will be a new minifigure, either new hair or new body or new paint. And with all the collectible minifigurines, there's a backstory to the character. So each character will get a name, and it will get a backstory. He's a janitor working here, or something like that. The other minifigurines that you get with sets are just basic characters. Not all of them's got names or stuff like that.
Now, Luke comment says Ralph should do some talking. We should let him talk. He got dressed up for the occasion. Is this not? Do you normally walk around with collared shirts, or is this an occasion?
No, I normally dress up like this. So this is
it?
my
So-
work attire.
Oh, okay. So that's Luke being Luke.
Yeah.
Okay, Luke. Zaptoid says I've got a Gandalf Lego built from Hobbit.
Well, yeah, he's one of my mates.
Okay.
Lord of the Rings fan.
Oh, all
And I
right.
managed to find a Gandalf minifigure. It was on my wanted list for a long time.
Oh, wow.
When I finally got one, gave it to him.
So Ralph, when you get into this, I'm sure that you start scratching the surface and then you realize it gets deeper and deeper and deeper.
Yes. So for me, it never stops. At the moment, there's about 30 different collectible minifigurine sets available.
Okay.
I've completed 27 sets, so I've still got 3 sets short that I'm still looking for a
Hold on,
minifigure
come again, how
spot.
many sets in total?
There's 30 collectible, 30 series.
Okay,
Yeah.
and you've got almost all of them.
I've got 27 of them, yes.
And are these the pictures you supplied tonight? So
Yes,
if I go
those-
to the pictures, we can start talking about some of these sets.
Yes.
So firstly, Mr. Gold. Do you have Mr. Gold?
I don't,
And tell us about Mr. Gold. What's the story behind
okay,
Mr.
so
Gold?
so Mr. Gold. So what Lego did is on Series 10 they brought out a 17th character. So they normally 16 characters in a series, and there was only 5,000 of Mr. Gold's
in
produced
total, 5 for the world.
for the world, 5,000.
Okay.
And they were randomly put into stores, and you could feel the packet and go through them to get a Mr. Gold.
Oh wow!
So if
Okay.
if you're looking for a Mr. Gold now and you find one that's open, you'll probably pay about 20,000 rand upwards.
For if you Mr. Gold, and if
For-
it's in the packet,
If it's still sealed in a packet,
are there any in the left in the
Yes.
packet? Really?
yes, there are. So you're paying 35,000 and up for a sealed
Sealed
packet, for sealed one.
You gotta hope it's a Mr. Gold in there and that you haven't made a mistake when you're feeling around.
Yes, so and so this is the thing I enjoy about minifigurines. I don't always know what I get, and I enjoy going to the store, sitting on a
And do they
floor.
all come in packets that you can't see what's inside?
Yes.
They look like this, Tom.
Oh wow, check that out. Okay, so here's my first little mini figure. This is something that I could get into. Like this is something I could really enjoy.
Yeah.
Going along and like opening it up and the excitement of what did I get today. I love that.
That's great.
Okay.
So some people have gotten real good at feeling the little parts through the packet and feel,
They're
oh,
professional feelers.
yes. So
That's incredible.
I don't want to say I'm pretty good at it, because I still do make mistakes where I get duplicates. But yeah, you can normally feel if there's a hat, or
Okay.
if the guy's got a sword, or there's a cat or something like that. So you feel for the parts that you get.
Right. Let me put a picture or two up on screen. and I'll ask you to just look over and tell me what are we looking at here. I'm looking at some.
Okay, so those are the Unikitty series. So those are little cats through the Unikitties that came through.
Is that any relation to Hello Kitty, or it's a separate kind of kitty?
No, it's a separate kind of kitty.
Okay.
So there is a kitty that also is part of the Lego group, and it's also featured in the Lego movie as well. And it actually got used now. So there's a big debate in, is the Unikitty also part of the collectible minifigurine
Oh, wow.
series?
Okay.
Because it's not actually a minifigurine, it's just a Unikitty. So
Sure.
there's a big debate about it going on, and I don't think there's a
Do
Good
all
real
of
answer.
no, so, yeah. Do these figures I see that are they all based on a standard sized figure, or are there differences?
No, they're all based on a standard size figure. So I think the ratio is 1:48. So one minifigurine figure is 1.5 inch tall. And they're all the same size since 1978.
Yes.
You can still interchange the pants and the
And is that where the
torsos.
Unikitty problem comes in?
The Unikitty is just a different minifigurine or a minifigure that's come out. But I mean, the minifigures also extend to the Friends series and Duplo and stuff like that. But you know, I would say I'm a purist in the Lego minifigurines.
Okay.
You know,
What does that mean if you're a purist?
I don't like Friend
Mini
minifigures.
dolls.
Yeah, dolls and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Okay.
So I still like the original minifigures.
Now you've got, how many figures have you got? Because I'm putting pictures on Facebook now and it looks like there's thousands.
I've got well over 1,000 minifigurines.
Oh, there's Homer Simpson and Marge.
Yes, so there was a Simpsons Series 1 and a Series 2 that was released. There was also Lego minifigurines from the Lego movie and the second Lego movie. There was from the Batman movie and the Batman movie 2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, Series 2. Oh, there's the second series from the Lego Batman movie. And there was also minifigurines from the Lego Ninjago movie as well. That was released.
And also when Germany won the World Cup of football, Lego released for them a very limited
really?
run for the World Cup winning team.
So do you build anything or you're purely into the minifigures?
No, I also build things. I'm not as much as in the techniques, but I've got a motorbike, a Techniques motorbike that I've got there.
Okay.
But at the moment I'm purely, or not purely, but mostly into systems. So it's the modular systems, and I especially like the Marvel and the superhero series.
Now I've got a picture on screen of two little minifigures in a cardboard cutout.
Yes, the caveman, caveman and
Now you
cavewoman.
lit up when I showed that picture. Why did you light up like that? You lit up like a Christmas tree when I put
Well,
that
that's
on.
special,
Why is
they
it
go
special?
together and they go in a cave, and that's their little cavemen that, so
So you like the story as well? The
Yes.
stories behind the figures?
I love the stories
Because
behind
there's
the
always a
figures as well.
story.
That's correct, yes.
Okay, let me put something else of yours on here. What are these?
So those are the Harry Potter series that came out.
Okay.
So I was just showing how I normally just arrange them, just to show off, to see that I've got all the parts
And
there.
then there's some plastic tubs of parts. What are those?
Okay, so those are spare parts that we've got. So Dina and I, we are looking at monochrome series. So monochrome is actually a minifigure that's all one color. So it's all white or all
All
black
right.
or all blue and stuff like that. And what we're doing there, we are sorting the parts. So we've got blue legs and a blue torso,
to make
blue arms,
monochrome figures.
to make
Okay.
monochrome figures.
That's brilliant.
So all our spare parts, and they don't go together well, also goes into these tubs.
There's a lot of action in the conversation section, the chat room tonight. That's what we want. We want lots of conversation and questions and comments. Let's get the camaraderie going around Lego. Let's see what we've got here. We got, how do you guys sort your Lego? I do it by color in large see-through bins. Some sets in flat plastic toolboxes. Awesome idea of the show. Thanks, Ferry. Hope you're on board next Thursday at 7:10. How do you each sort your Lego out?
Mine goes by part type, and then colors, for the most part, the other card inside. It's easier to find a red specific part in amongst all of them than trying to find a part that's
So, all right. So
amongst
start
all
with
red.
the part
Yeah.
size. Okay. You don't need to sort much, do you?
Well, no. I build also sets as well. So the MOC stands for my own creation.
Yes.
And we're busy building a set for springs as well. So
What are you
I'll-
building? Can you say yet? No. See, I knew he was going to
Of course you can say.
So we're building a mixed water forest set
Oh,
with all
nice.
different characters in there. It's a bit of what we like, myself and Dina, or Dina and myself, sorry.
Cool.
And we're all throwing it in together there. So it
Lots
will-
of green in it.
there's lots of green. in it.
So that's the one thing I learned. Green was one of the first colors introduced after the first basic
Yes.
colors, and that caused a little bit of a rumpus in the Lego community. Had to be accepted as a color, but now it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
There's many types of green. I think it's 5, 6
Oh, really?
types of green. Yeah.
All right. Luke says Booster Bricks in the US have been a successful radio show, and they do that when they hit 1,000 shares, they give out another prize. So I know you want to do prizes.
Well, I brought from series 18 normally when they release a Lego minifigure.
Oh, this one here.
Yeah.
Do you know what this is?
Well, Ralph gave it to me. He's convinced it's the policeman. So when they
The re-released policeman.
Yes.
I've got a picture of the re-released policeman. Hold on a moment. I get so excited because I'm prepared this week. That's him, the re-released policeman.
Yes, that's exactly him. So when
you think that policeman could be in this packet?
It probably is in that packet. So we want to give that away randomly, and then I'm sure you'll find a way on how to give it away to
I like the share idea.
To someone who shares this. So share this video if you want to be in line to have a policeman for your collection.
There it is from Series 18, and Ralph reckons, I think it is as well. I reckon this is definitely a Series 18 re-released policeman.
Yeah.
On top of the
Still
Bugatti.
sealed in the packet.
Still sealed in the packet. Is that worth money?
A couple of $100, $300-400
Yeah,
I suppose.
they are rare. I mean, the policeman was
become worth more over time.
Yes.
Oh, that's a nice piece.
The reason that this is rare is normally in a box they would split the number equally amongst the 18 different ones in the box, or the 16 different ones in the box. When this came out, there was only one per box.
So there are fewer of them.
No, they call them chase minifigures. You chase after that one.
Okay, they put it. Okay, got it. So listen, if you want to win that Series 18, we're quite sure, both Ralph and I, it's a policeman, the re-release policeman. Share this video. Tell a friend, tag a friend or share. That's what we ask for. Let's make the circle bigger. So if you share this video or you tag a friend in it, you qualify, and we'll put all the names in a hat and we'll draw a name out.
We'll draw it next week.
Next week.
Live, yeah.
Live on the show.
Straight up.
I will announce the winner.
Cool.
We're quite sure the re-released policeman. It's worth at least $350,000. I'm a media type. I've got to say stuff like that. Okay, I like the shirt, Ralph, says Luke.
Thanks, Luke.
All right, there we go. Ralph, how many minifigures do you have? Well, we went through that, over 1,000 now. Holy crap, that's quite the collection, was the next comment from Zaptoid. Marlies van Gruenen says over 1,000. Who's Marlies? Do you know Marlies?
She that bicycle chick? No?
I don't know. Marlies, identify yourself please, and what over 1,000 do you have? We'd like to know. Or unless Marlies was guessing how many figures Ralph had, I'm not quite sure. Okay, Hedgewig, what does that mean?
That's
Is
probably
that a figure?
Lord. I'm not.
No,
Lord of the Rings fan.
Hedgewig is a Harry Potter. The name of the owl.
Okay, Luke says Pops Toys rocks for feeling blind packs. Is that what everyone does? Goes to Pops Toys and steals the packets.
You go wherever you can.
I go to Toy Kingdom, get a box,
Yes.
go sit in the carpet, and I throw everything out.
Oh, really?
And I fill the packet, and all the ones I don't want, I throw back.
That's funny. Uni Kitty is awesome, says Dina. Zaptoy says, I'll take it. I'm guessing that's the figure over there, right? And then Luke says, Joe, have you fallen asleep? Who's Joe?
Joe is a member of our club.
Okay, how's it Joe?
How's it Joe?
So, what is your favorite figure? Your favorite, I mean, if someone said, I'm taking all your minifigures, but you can have one, which one would it be?
It's difficult. I'm quite fond of the zaLUG minifigure that I've got.
Okay, what's the zaLUG minifigure?
So it's a minifigure that you design your own persona in a minifigure.
Okay.
But if I had to choose one of the collectible minifigurines, I would probably go with the Bumblebee girl.
I want to ask Tom to take your hat off and show the people your hair, because I want to build you a figure, but I'm struggling to find your hair. So if someone's got hair that looks like Tom's hair, long, blonde, dear Makar.
I don't normally do that, hey? The other day I made the fatal mistake of standing up and my belly fat hung over my belt on air, which was
wonderful.
Just a terrible
Isn't
mistake.
getting old great?
But this is not what my hair should look like, by the way. And my hairstylist is one of the best in the country. And I keep giving her name out. Shalene Shear from Tanaz, and every time I do, she says, don't do that until you come for a haircut, because I've been doing for like 8 months, and I keep everyone that say your hair like that, and I go, yeah, it's Shalene, and then she finds out and she says, you don't do that to me. I haven't cut your hair for 8 months, so I better go. Yeah, but I'm going to change it soon, eh?
Okay, I'd like to build you
All right, cool.
a minifigure. Yeah,
I'd love that. Okay, so which one was it? The one
The Bumblebee Girl.
The Bumblebee Girl. Okay, here's a question for you in the room if you're a Lego fan. What set or minifigure would you have to take? If you had to leave everything behind, you had to take one piece or one set, what would it be? Write it in the comment section down below, please.
Oh, can I change my mind?
Oh, okay, yes, you are allowed to change your mind.
I quite like Abe Lincoln from the Lego movie series, the first one that came out.
Okay.
Abraham Lincoln, because
Alright,
the
you
beard
get-
was actually attached to the top hat.
Right, you get to keep the Abe Lincoln figure. What figure haven't you got that you would do anything to get?
Mr. Gold.
No! That goes so quick, eh? And you, Willi, are there any figures you want?
not really. It's a slippery slope when you start collecting them.
I
and,
see this, eh?
I'm
you know what
scared.
happens.
There was one that I really wanted. It was the Blackbeard from Pirates of the Caribbean,
Oh.
and that would be my favorite.
All right, so let me tell you what some of the figures coming up are, right? Clark Badenhorst says not a Lord of the Rings fan, Willi Badenhorst. What does that mean?
It's
Inside joke.
Well, every time they speak of Harry Potter, I say I don't know anything about Lord of the Rings.
I do that with Star Trek and Star Wars. Jeez, I can get guys upset. Eh? Okay, Clark says skinny Thor hair.
I think that's
Is that a
in,
figure?
that's in response to we need hair for your minifigure.
Oh, for my hair,
So,
skinny Thor.
I'm hoping that-
skinny Thor.
I'm hoping that Clark says he's got one for me.
All right, someone says Iron Man Silver Centurion. Is that also my hair, or is that another figure? Because I quite like the sound of that for my hair. If it's Iron Man Silver Centurion.
Got a helmet.
Oh, okay. Clark says Superman is the minifigure that he'd take.
Oh yeah, Mornay is speaking about the Deadpool duck. So they
Right.
release a very limited run for Comic Con, for the San
Okay.
Diego Comic Con.
Okay.
So when you would be one of the first 20 or 50 people to enter, they'd give you a blister pack with a minifigure in that becomes just stupid valuable almost overnight.
Brilliant. Raymond says Series 10 Bumblebee B. I now have 2. You can buy one.
No, I sold mine to him.
You sold the Bumblebee to Raymond.
Yeah.
That's right, there's a big smiley face on the end. Zaptoid says everything. Yeah. One figure I wish I could get, says Mornay Khos, is the Deadpool duck. Oh, you mentioned that. Comic Con 2017 exclusive. And Luke comments says Carl Smith. Now I'm guessing that's not a figure, that's a tag.
That's probably
Okay, cool.
in
Right.
contention for the minifigure.
What do you do with them? Do you keep all of them, or do you ever sell some? Do you rotate?
Well, I struggle to sell mine. I sold a few, and then afterwards I get the seller's remorse. Oh,
You
why
go
did I
look for
sell
it.
it?
Is it? You go look for it again.
I'll go look for it again. I try and get a few doubles where I can display the ones that I want and then play with the other ones.
So Mornay says the current Deadpool duck price on
Bricklink.
Bricklink is 6,262 Rand for one minifigure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Are these things investments? I mean, are there guys investing in them now? Do you insure these collections? Or?
You've asked a lot of questions. To answer your question on investment, I'm very hesitant to say yes, it's an investment, and then people go out and spend a lot of money on Lego that's not really
Yeah.
going to appreciate in value. Like everything, whether you invest in gold or unit trusts, or you need to know what you're doing. You need to be involved in Lego.
Don't worry, I'll start the investment arm of this operation. Lego is a great investment. In fact, we have something for you to invest in tonight. But I mean, I watch some of these prices and they're surely going up. So the Deadpool duck price is not going to go down
No.
It's not.
anytime soon. Doesn't look like it. Zaptoid says, guys, great show. See you next week. I think we've been chased. Well, it's 8 o'clock. We've got a
Can you believe how
timekeeper.
quickly it
Okay,
goes?
so Zaptoid, you're the timekeeper on the show now, right?
Officially.
Yeah.
Let it be
and
known.
so when I worked at 702, we had a gatekeeper. I don't know if you remember on the shows. At the end of the show, someone would come along and say, the Tom London show is now officially closed. And I would say the gatekeeper's here. And that would be the last call, the last thing we did was the gatekeeper would close the show. So what do you say we make Zaptoid the gatekeeper of the show? And then they can just, Zaptoid puts a message, the Around the Block is officially closed every time. All right, so if you're in for that, Zaptoid, Prepare the message. Around the block. What?
Hashtag around the
It
block.
needs to be a bit sexier than that.
He's not the sexy
Around
kind
the
of
block
guy.
has left the building. Around the block has left the building.
Kick the block under the bed. I don't know, Tom.
All right. I'm going with my one. I like it. Okay, so around the block has left the building is the closing line for the show. Hashtag around the block has left the building. I'll let you know when you write it and post it in a minute or two, because first I want to say thank you. Once again to Willi. I mean, this came up as a conversation a couple of weeks ago, and now look, we've got a show discussing Lego with a Danish flag in the corner of the screen. It will make my mom happy, and surely makes me glad. So thank you, Willi Badenhorst, adult fan of Lego, for coming in and putting the show together. And thank you, Ralph Steele, zaLUG member and minifigure collector, for bringing your passion into the studio.
Well, thank you for having me.
And thank you to you for watching at home on Facebook. This show is for fans of Lego. And we need more and more people to join us, and we can build the biggest Lego fan club online on video, live video show in the world. I reckon we can do it if you share, and we've got an incentive for you to share the show with your friends who love Lego, because for sure now, I have confirmed that we've got the re-release Policeman Series 18 up for grabs to someone who shares the show. So please share and tell your friends about it, or tag someone, qualify, and next week we'll give that prize away to somebody. Thank you for joining us on Around the Block. And now I think we can, before we go, just clean up the comments. Love the hair, mate, says Luke. I think that must be mine. Raymond McPherson says, I have Black Lightning and the Atom both in blister packs, which is normally going for more than $4,000 each.
Wow.
And I see you're nodding your head, so that's true. Azog, San Diego Comic Con 2013 exclusive, $19,000. Luke says the Leicester minifigure, and people are getting all juiced up about which minifigure was the best one ever. Around the Block, we'll be back next week, same time. We'll see you guys then, and we've left the building. Thank you all, says Zaptoid, and that is how we say goodbye to you from Willi, from Ralph, and myself, Tom London. Catch you again next Thursday, 7:10. Tell all your friends about Around the Block. I miss you already. Bye! You can wave.